We're going to begin Chapter 6, our chapter on percents, and Section 6.1 is asking us to model and write percents as equivalent fractions and decimals. In order to understand percents, we need to be able to define them. Percent is a ratio of a number to 100. And remember, ratio is just a fancy word for fraction. But let's go ahead and break down percent even more. Per means out of, and cent, like cents in a dollar, there are 100 cents in a dollar. Century means there are 100 years in a century. Centimeter, there are 100 centimeters, or 100 centimeters in a meter. So cent means 100. Per means out of, cent means 100. So when you put those two words together, those two roots, percent means out of 100. So add that to your definition. Out of 100. I guarantee you I'm going to ask you what percent means. It's going to be out of 100. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with example 1, which is writing percents as fractions. Super easy. They're just 2 steps. You're going to write the percent, and that's the sign for percent, over 100, because remember, percent means out of 100. And then you're going to simplify. Okay, let's do 2 examples, so split your workspace in half. Let's start with 55%. So let's follow our steps. 55% means 55%, 55 out of 100. And then let's simplify. 5 goes into both 55 and 100. 55 divided by 5 is 11. 100 divided by 5 is 20. 55% written in as a fraction in simplest form is 11/20. Okay, second example, 81%. Percent means out of 100, so 81 out of 100. All right, are there any numbers that go into 81 and 100? Nope. They're relatively prime, so 81/100ths is the simplest form of 81% written as a fraction. Okay, let's try a practice problem yourself. We're going to do a couple of them, so split your practice problem workspace in half. I want you to start off by writing 12% as a fraction in simplest form. Remember, you need to simplify, so go ahead and pause the video and work this out. Okay, 12% is 12 out of 100. I know that 4 goes into both of these. 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 100 divided by 4 is 25. So 3/25 is 12% is simplest form. How'd you do? Okay, so second practice problem, 75%. Go ahead and pause your video, work this problem out on your own, see if you can do it. Okay, 75% means 75 out of 100. I'm going to think of quarters here because I know 25 cents goes into 75 cents and it also goes into 100. So I know 25 goes into both 75 and 100. You could simplify out 5 or whatever other number, but 25 is the biggest number that goes into both 75 and 100. 75 divided by 25 is 3. And 100 divided by 25 is 4. 75% is equivalent to 3/4. This is probably one that you should memorize, one that you should know. Okay, example 2, writing percents as decimals. Okay, so here's what we need to do. There are a couple of different examples. I'm going to show you method 1. The steps to method 1 are as follows. you're going to write it as a fraction and then divide. So for example, over here in method 1, we're going to write 22% as a fraction first, so 22 over 100. Then we're going to divide it. 22 divided by 100 is 22 hundredths. You can also just say it and know that that is the decimal equivalency of 22%. Now my personal preference is actually method 2. It's a little bit easier for me, but either one of these ways works for you. All you need to do with method 2 is move the decimal two places to the left. So if we go back to 22%, 22% is a whole number. That means the decimal's at the end. So if we move it two places to the right, or excuse me, to the left, that makes it 0.22 or 22 hundredths. So let's do another example with method 2. Here I have 8 7/100%, and I need to write that as a decimal. So I'm going to take that decimal place and move it two places to the left. Add in my 0. So my answer is 807/10,000ths. Now once I've converted it to a decimal, I don't need that percent sign anymore. And that's our answer. Okay, now it's your turn to choose whichever method, method 1 or method 2 you preferred, and try it out on your own. So let's do 11% as a decimal and 1 6/10% as a decimal. I want you to pause this video, work both of them out on your own, and then check back in to see if you got it. Okay, 11%. I'm going to use method 2 because it's easier for me. I know that the decimal at 11% is at the end, and all I need to do is move the decimal two places to the left. So that becomes 11 hundredths. 11% is equivalent to 11 hundredths. Notice I did not keep the percent sign. Once I change it from a percent to a decimal, I'm done with the percent sign, and it just goes away. Okay, let's do 1 6/10%. Then my decimal's written there, so I'm going to move it two places to the left, fill in my place with the 0, and then I have 16 thousandths as my equivalent decimal to 1 6/10%. So overall, writing percents as fractions and decimals is pretty simple. Writing them as a fraction, you just need to write the percent over 100 and then simplify. And to change percents to decimals, you just move the decimal two places to the right. Or you can write it as a fraction and then divide that fraction in your calculator on whatever decimal you get. That's your decimal equivalency for that percent. We'll see you back here for lesson 6-2 tomorrow. Have a great evening, and we'll see you later.